Be me, 39, Fef, 2 kids, son is 9 and daughter is 11, husband is Nate, 41, structural engineer, human version of a safety, manual, pulls in good money, home by 5:50 every night. Like he's clocked by satellite assistant coach for our son's baseball team, loads the dishwasher without being asked. And holy hell, he is boring, been married 14 years. Met in college, he was the guy with the neatly tabbed notebook and a mechanical pencil collection. Actually did the reading, highlighted the reading, probably enjoyed the reading. I was the messy English major in thrifted cardigans, quoting old poets and acting like feelings were a personality. Back then his steadiness felt amazing, like finally grabbing a dock after flailing in open water. Now over a decade later, it feels like being zip-tied to a beige recliner. Our life feels like it was designed by an HOA board and approved by 3 accountants' alarm at 6:30 a.m. on the dot. Except I never even hear mine because Nate is already awake. Coffee made, kids' lunches packed, fruit cut, napkins, folded, everything lined up on the counter like a military inspection. He trims sandwich crusts exactly the way both kids want them, never mixes them up, never forgets. Then same forehead kiss, same spot, same soft voice. Morning, babe. Sleep okay? Same tone every single day. Same patient smile. I want to bury my face in the pillow and scream until I lose my voice. I work in HR. My entire day is basically refereeing awkward tech guys, mediating fights about office fridge politics, who took whose oat milk, who microwaved fish, who keeps sighing aggressively. Had to break up an argument once because one developer said another one's keyboard was hostile. Then I drive back to suburbia. Identical houses, identical mailboxes, identical tasteful mulch. Our yard is flawless. Nate mows it in alternating directions because he read that it helps the grass stay healthier. He says this sincerely, gutters cleaned twice a year with a ladder, stabilizer, and a harness. Because of course he owns a gutter cleaning harness, both cars serviced on scheduled tires, rotated fluids, topped off inspection. Reminders set. He has a color-coded spreadsheet for maintenance tabs and everything. I am living in the postcard version of the American dream, and I feel like I'm being slowly embalmed in grage paint. Dinner is the worst part. Absolutely. The worst. We all sit at the table. No phones. Nate's rule, family time. He asks the kids about school. They grunt one-word answers because they are 9 and 11 and apparently sworn enemies of conversation. Fine, good, math. Then it's his turn, and he launches into his day retaining Wall's soil reports, permit delays, drainage issues, zoning board, nonsense. He gets animated too, like genuinely animated eyes lighting up, while he talks about rebar spacing, and the concrete mix was out of spec, so we had to push the pour back almost 5 hours. I nod while staring at the wall behind him. Wow. That sounds stressful, autopilot voice. Meanwhile, my brain is clawing at the inside of my skull. I want stimulation. I want tension. I want something messy and alive. I want literally anything that is not another sentence about concrete curing time. I look at him chewing roast chicken. He is a good man, actually. A great man, great dad, responsible husband, dependable in every way people are supposed to want. And I feel nothing, not hatred, not love, just this dull irritation like, why are you breathing so loudly through your nose right now? Start resenting how content he is. Like, how dare you be this satisfied with this tiny, neat little life, while I feel like a houseplant dying in low light. I start thinking, I disappeared somewhere. I'm not me anymore. I'm just mom and Nate's wife. I look in the mirror and still see someone attractive. I take care of myself. Barre class a few times a week. Good skincare. Expensive highlights every month and a half. I'm 39. Not buried, but I feel like I'm lying in a padded coffin. Start venting to Melissa at work. Melissa is my work best friend, and basically my oxygen tank. 35, single, HR supervisor, always on dating apps during meetings with her phone. Under the table, she tells me about her weekends over lunch, chaotic dates, cocktail bars on rooftops, guys with weird jobs and better jawlines, situationship, drama, people getting ghosted, people unghosting, someone crying in an Uber. It sounds exhausting as hell, and also weirdly thrilling, like something is actually happening, like people still have pulse rates over 60. Every Tuesday we go to this absurdly expensive salad place near the office. Tiny portions, $19, chicken add-on, industrial chic decor. I dump my marriage complaints all over the table. He's just so nice, I say, like I'm confessing a sin. Melissa stops mid-bite. What did he do now? He bought me a vacuum for our anniversary. She nearly drops her fork. A vacuum? Absolutely not. I do that thing where I defend him on instinct. It was a Dyson. It was a really nice one. She waves a manicured hand at me, like I'm missing the point on purpose. I don't care if it levitates. That is a household appliance. That man gave you chores as a gift. You are in your prime, Lauren. You're being smothered by suburban wife cosplay. You need passion. You need chemistry. You need someone to look at you like you're a woman, not a co-parenting roommate. She talks like this all the time. Half therapy, half TED Talk, half tequila commercial, somehow three halves. Then she starts sending me stuff during the workday. Links, podcasts, posts, articles, threads about the monogamy script, podcasts about reclaiming feminine desire, blogs about how the nuclear family drains women, dry essay after essay about emotional labor and identity loss. I start eating it up every lunch break, every night in bed, while Nate is asleep next to me, breathing steadily like a metronome. I read stories from women saying they opened their marriages and found themselves words like compersion and autonomy and ethical non-monogamy start sounding profound to me, modern evolved, like I'm discovering some hidden level everyone else already unlocked. I think about my parents, 42 years of marriage, constant bickering, long silences, mutual resentment, staying together because nobody wanted to blow up the house. I tell myself I refuse to become that. I don't want to calcify. I don't want to be one more woman quietly dying at a dinner table. I want romance. I want butterflies. I want to feel chosen, wanted, chased. And somewhere in there, I convince myself I can have everything. Keep the stable husband who pays the mortgage and unclogs the sink and get the excitement. Somewhere else outsourced, the spark sounds efficient when I say it, in my head, almost smart. I frame it like empowerment, like I'm taking control of my life instead of admitting I'm just restless and selfish. Spend 3 months building my case, literally building a case like I'm prepping for a negotiation at work. I know Nate, he's painfully logical. He needs reasons, structure, benefits, if feelings don't come with bullet points. He won't know what to do with them, so I rehearse if I'm happier. I'll stop resenting him. If my needs are met elsewhere, I can be more present at home, better wife, better mom, less tension in the house. I actually convince myself I'm proposing a solution, like I'm doing maintenance on the marriage preventive care schedule, the talk for a Friday night. Kids are sleeping over, at my sister's place house is quiet. Nate made homemade pasta from scratch, because of course he did. Floured countertop sauce simmering, opens a bottle of Cabernet, pours us each a glass. We settle on the couch. He puts on a documentary about bridge design. Not kidding, a documentary about bridges. They're explaining cable tension and load distribution. I let it play for a minute, then, right when an engineer on screen starts talking about tensile strength, I mute the TV. Nate, we need to talk. He goes still instantly, fork halfway up, sets it down very slowly on the plate, like sudden movement might make things worse. Is it the kids? Did something happen? Did the school call? His first reaction is protection. Always, it should make me feel safe. Instead, it irritates me even more in that moment. No, they're fine. It's about us. He exhales a little, not relaxed, exactly, just less panicked, still watching me carefully. Now, okay, what about us? My heart is pounding, but I've practiced this too many times to stop. I feel like we're stuck, Nate. I feel like we're basically roommates running a household together. I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. The spark is dead. I tell him I feel like I'm suffocating in this marriage. Nate looks wounded. Not annoyed, not defensive, actually hurt. Like I just kicked a dog that brought me my shoes. I love you, he says. Quiet, I thought we had a good life. We're safe. The kids are healthy. We're okay. Okay isn't enough, I snap. Comes out sharper than I planned. I dial it back because I still need him. Listening, take a breath switch into the language Melissa fed me for weeks. I've been reading about ethical non-monogamy. I drop the phrase into the room like a pipe bomb. Nate just stares at me, blinks once, twice. I can practically see the buffering wheel in his head. You mean cheating? No. Cheating is lying. This would be open, honest, agreed to, consensual. I start talking faster because now I'm in presentation mode. I want us to have freedom to explore connections with other people, to feel alive again, to reconnect with ourselves, to have autonomy. All the podcast words, all the article words. Nate looks down at his wine, holds the stem, like it's the only stable thing in the room. He looks crushed, completely crushed. So I'm not enough for you? Not a question, just a flat statement, like he already knows the answer and hates it. It's not about enough, I say, reciting almost word for word from Melissa. No one person can be everything for someone forever. That's too much pressure. It's unfair to expect that from one partner. I want to take that pressure off you. I even try to make it sound generous. You can date too. You could meet someone who actually wants to hear about bridges and retaining walls. He flinches a little at that. I don't want anyone else. I married you because I chose you. I roll my eyes internally and push harder. You're saying that because this scares you? Think about it, Nate. We got married young. You were, what, 24? You went straight from school to marriage to kids. You never got to experience anything. This could be good for both of us. We could grow. I keep going and going and going, 2 straight hours of it. I cry when logic stops working. I use every big emotional word I've got. Stifled, trapped identity, resentment dying inside. I make it sound like this isn't a want, like it's oxygen, like if he says no, he's choosing to watch me disappear, and eventually he folds, because he's Nate, and Nate fixes problems. That's what he does, tightens bolts, patches leaks, makes plans, stabilizes things, and he can tell. I'm halfway out the door already. He knows if he refuses, I might leave, so he agrees to burn himself down just to keep the family standing. Okay, he says finally, barely above a whisper, voice cracking on the word, if this is what you need to be happy, then, after a long pause, we need rules, strict rules. The rest of the weekend turns into a legal workshop. We sit at the kitchen table like we're negotiating a merger. Nate gets a yellow legal pad. Of course he has one. Prints each rule neatly in block letters. Treats the whole thing like a contract review. Rule 1, no bringing anyone to our house. Rule 2, kids never meet them ever. Rule 3, always use protection, no exceptions. Rule 4, either of us gets veto power. If one person is uncomfortable, it ends immediately. Rule 5, no. Emotional attachments. This is supposed to be fun. Not relationships, no falling in love. Rule 6, full transparency on where we are and when, but no explicit play-by-play details. I agree to every single thing. Like, I'm signing a peace treaty. Serious, face, slow nodding. That's fair. Absolutely. I want this to be healthy. Inside him, I'm doing backflips. I feel like I just cheated the universe, like I found a loophole in adulthood. Keep the mortgage and the minivan and the stable husband, plus excitement on the side. Best of both worlds. Monday morning, I download the apps before I even finish my coffee. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. The Holy Trinity spend almost 3 hours building my profiles. Choose the flattering pics, carefully use the one from my cousin's wedding, where the lighting makes me look 10 years younger. Use a yoga pic. Use one close-up with good makeup and soft curls. Crop out the kids. Obviously bio takes forever. Trying to sound sexy, but not messy. Confident but chill. End up with something like married and open looking for fun, respectful connections, good communication. No drama hit publish, and my phone loses its mind. Buzzing non-stop on my desk, actually vibrating across the woodlikes, matches, messages. 99 plus in what felt like minutes. I get such a hard dopamine hit. I almost feel lightheaded. Sit there staring at the screen, grinning like an idiot. Scrolling through faces, doctors, attorneys, real estate guys, fitness dudes, musicians with jawlines, guys in their late 20s, guys younger than me by a lot. All of them interested, all of them looking at me like I'm still a prize show. Melissa at lunch, like I'm bringing her test results. She grabs my phone and starts swiping through the feed. See, she says, I told you. You're still hot. This is exactly what I meant. Men go crazy for a woman who knows what she wants. I feel electric desired. validated, like my life just switched from grayscale to color. Later that night, I ask Nate, casual voice, while I'm taking off my earrings, "So how's your app situation? Did you make a profile?" He glances at his phone and sighs, looks exhausted, older, somehow. "I got one like..." Pause. "It was a crypto bot." I bite the inside of my cheek so I don't smile. "Let me see." He hands me the phone. It is catastrophically bad. Blurry car selfie, sunglasses on seatbelt. Visible like he's an Uber driver waiting for a fare. Bio says civil engineer, married ENM, father of 2. I like hiking and history museums. I actually laugh, "Nate, this is brutal. You can't do this. You have to make it interesting. You have to sell a vibe. Nobody is out here searching for responsible father of 2. He looks at me with this dead flat expression. I'm not a vibe. I'm a dad. That is who I am. I pat his shoulder like I'm coaching a little league kid, condescending as hell. Well, good luck, babe. I do not help him fix it, could've. Didn't because, if I'm honest, I liked the imbalance. I liked being the one everyone wanted. I liked him struggling, while I got flooded with attention. Made me feel powerful. Made me feel like he should be grateful. I was still there at all. I assume he'll never get a real date knot. One figure this whole setup will basically be. Me having fun while he pretends to try. And then my little hot girl era starts. First date is with Ethan, 29, trainer at some boutique gym. We meet at a trendy cocktail place downtown. Exposed brick dim lighting music. Too loud for normal conversation. He shows up wearing a tank top in November. In November, like weather is a suggestion. When you have biceps, orders a vodka. Red Bull, of course he does. Smiles at me like he already knows the plan. 10 minutes in, he asks if I'm trying to get into some trouble tonight. Basically, the same as asking if I'm down to clown. I cringe internally, ignore it because his arms look carved out of granite. We leave together, go back to his apartment. Place smells like laundry that never got moved, and leftover takeout. Gym bag in the corner, pizza box on the counter. Protein powder tub, bigger than my daughter's backpack. The sex is exactly what you'd expect. Physical fast, hard zero, intimacy. Like cardio, with skin contact. He doesn't ask what I'd like, doesn't ask if I'm okay. Definitely doesn't ask if I've finished, just rolls over and passes out, almost immediately after full dead sleep. I lie there for a minute, staring at his ceiling fan, then get dressed and leave. Drive home a little after 1 a.m. And weirdly, I feel amazing, not because it was romantic. It absolutely was not. But because I did it. I broke the rules of the life I hated, and the sky didn't fall. I slip into the house quietly, creep upstairs, slide into bed, next to Nate. He's asleep, warm, solid, smells like that plain Old Spice body. Wash he's used forever. Boring, familiar, clean. I should feel guilty instead. I feel relieved, light, almost giddy. I pass out instantly and sleep like a rock. Next morning, Nate is in the kitchen making pancakes for the kids. Saturday cartoon energy syrup bottle, out blueberries in a bowl, daughter arguing about plate colors, son asking for extra butter. He doesn't ask me how the date went, doesn't ask where I was, doesn't make a face, just pours syrup for the kids and looks over at me. Want coffee? Get this tiny stab of guilt the next morning. Then I check my phone. 12 new messages, couple new matches, one shirtless mirror, selfie guy, already calling me gorgeous. Guilt disappears instantly, like it was never real. Fast forward about 5 months, I've rotated through a whole lineup of men. Brandon, 46, money guy, cocky as hell, spent the entire dinner refreshing stock charts and complaining about his ex Dylan, 33, creative. Shared an apartment with 3 roommates and asked me to cover gas on date 2. Tyler, 25, full-grown child, called me Mrs. Robinson, like he thought he invented the joke, didn't know who Pearl Jam was. I stared at him like he'd confessed he couldn't read. The thrill starts wearing off. Hard. Everything feels copy-paste. Same bars, same fake charm, same questions. What do you do? What are you looking for? Wow, your eyes are insane. Your husband is actually okay with this? I start realizing most of them don't care about me at all. They see married plus open and translate it to easy low stakes, no future, no accountability. I'm not a person to them. I'm convenience like a late night drive-through with better skincare, but I keep going anyway because the attention hits like a drug, and because I cannot admit to Nate that this whole thing is kinda mediocre. I sold him on some enlightened freedom fantasy. I can't come back now and say, actually, this is mostly awkward conversations and bad sex. I definitely can't admit that all this freedom feels weirdly lonely. Meanwhile, Nate starts changing. At first it's subtle, so subtle I almost miss it. He stops eating pasta and takeout leftovers, starts meal prepping containers of chicken, rice, vegetables, row after row. In the fridge he joins an actual gym across town, not the cheap one next to the grocery store. I hear him downstairs early mornings, weights clanking, treadmill running, music playing low, week by week. The dad bod fades. His face sharpens up. Jawline comes back. He buys new glasses, sleek black frames. Not the same practical rectangular ones he's had since forever. Then he grows a beard, keeps it trimmed, uses beard oil on purpose. And annoyingly, he looks good, like objectively. Stupidly good. One morning I make a snide comment while he's packing lunches. Midlife crisis finally kicking in. He just smiles, not defensive, not embarrassed. Just this calm little private smile, like he knows something I don't. Just trying to stay healthy for the kids. Want to keep up with them. He stops asking me to watch stuff with him at night. No more invitations to sit on the couch, no more. You want to watch a movie? He starts reading instead. History books, philosophy, city planning stuff, architecture. He sits there completely fine by himself. Quiet, focused content. And for some reason that makes me furious. He was supposed to be the sad one. That was the deal in my head. I go out, I glow up, I thrive. He stays home and learns a lesson. Instead, he's becoming a person without me around. Month 7. I come home from a terrible date. Guy chewed with his mouth open the whole time, talked about crypto for 2 straight hours. Not kidding, 2 hours. I walk in already, irritated, feet killing me. Nate is in the kitchen on the phone and he's laughing. Not polite chuckling, really laughing, deep, warm, full laugh. I haven't heard that sound from him in years. He sees me in the doorway and lowers his voice. I should go, she's home. Good night. His tone goes soft on that last part. Intimate soft. Then he hangs up. I kick off my heels and rub my feet. Who was that? He rinses a glass. Like, this is nothing. A friend. A friend. Yeah. Her name's Rachel. Her. My stomach drops so fast it feels physical. Oh, who is she? Met her at the library. We both reached for the same book on brutalist architecture. I actually scoff. What is that, a rom-com meet cute? He shrugs. She's nice. She's doing her doctorate. Really smart. I relax immediately. Doctoral student, okay. In my head, I picture some awkward grad student in oversized sweaters, messy bun, huge tote bag, probably just thrilled. An older engineer is explaining buildings to her. Well, that's nice. Nate, glad you made a friend. I head upstairs, feeling smug, still on top, still in control. 2 weeks later, he comes downstairs, dressed to go out. Dark jeans, fitted blazer, white shirt. Actually fitted white shirt. Not one of his boxy office ones, and he smells different. Not Old Spice, something woodsy and expensive. Cedar, maybe sandalwood, whatever it is. It smells like a man who got his life together. He looks like a guy in a cologne ad for divorced architects. I stare too long, and he notices. I'm heading out. He says, date? I ask, trying to sound casual. My voice goes high anyway. Yeah. With Rachel. Where are you going? That jazz place downtown. The Lantern Room. I freeze for a second. I've wanted to go there for years. Nate always said he didn't like jazz, said it was too chaotic. Have fun, I say through clenched teeth. He grabs his keys, walks out, doesn't pause for my reaction, doesn't wait for permission, doesn't look back, just leaves with this lightness in his step. Actual bounce. I stay up waiting for him. Tell myself. It's because of safety, because it's late, because people should know their spouse got home, okay? Total lie. I'm spiraling. He gets back around 1 a.m. 1 a.m. This man used to be in pajamas by 9:45. He comes in looking lit up, eyes bright, cheeks flushed, humming under his breath while he locks the door. Humming, he sees me on the couch. You're still up? How was it? I ask. Immediately can't even pretend not to care. He smiles. Real smile. Incredible. Music was amazing. We talked for hours. I didn't even notice the time. I hate how happy he sounds. Did you? You know, I can't even say it. He looks at me for a second. No, we held hands. He says it like it mattered, like it was sacred, and that makes me feel sick, because holding hands is romantic. Holding hands is intimacy. I wanted him to have dumb hookups, meaningless stuff, something I could dismiss. Not tenderness, not chemistry. I go mean fast, don't get too excited. She's probably using you for dinners. Grad students are broke. Nate looks at me, then really looks at me, and for the first time, I see pity in his face. Pity. She paid, he says. She insisted. Said she wanted to treat me. Then he walks upstairs, just leaves me there in the kitchen, standing in my bare feet with my mouth open. After that, everything shifts fast. Nate starts going out twice a week, sometimes with Rachel, sometimes with friends. He's happier than I've seen him in years, singing in the shower, joking with the kids, still does stuff around the house, still helps, still packs lunches and folds laundry and remembers dentist appointments. But emotionally, gone, completely gone. He stops asking how my day was, stops checking in, stops reaching for me in bed, stops trying to initiate anything. I try to get his attention back. Wear lingerie to bed, the good set, the one I bought for someone else. Originally, he kisses my cheek, rolls over. Jim wiped me out, he says. I lay there furious in lace, so I escalate more dates later. Nights stay out till 2, then 3 a.m. Come home loud enough that he has to know. He barely reacts next morning. He's making eggs, like nothing happened. Hope you had fun. That's it. No jealousy, no anger, no questions. Because he doesn't need me to orbit him anymore, and I can feel the power draining out of my hands like trying to hold sand underwater. So I start watching his phone habits when he checks it, when he smiles at it. When he turns the screen away, he starts texting Rachel non-stop all day long. Messages, not just little check-ins, actual paragraphs, memes, photos of random stuff. He sees a weird building facade, a dog in a tiny raincoat, a book display at the library sunset, from the parking garage at work. He never texted me like that. With me, it was always pick up milk, running 15 late. Can you sign the field trip form? 1 month later, I come home and smell something rich. The second I open the door, not our usual dinner, not pasta, not chicken, something fancy, duck, maybe orange and herbs and butter and garlic in the air. I walk in and the table is set with the nice dishes, the wedding china. We use like twice a year, candles lit, cloth, napkins out, wine breathing on the counter. My chest actually lifts for a second. Wow, I say hopeful, without meaning to be. Are we celebrating something? Did I forget an anniversary? Nate turns from the stove in an apron, calm as anything. Rachel is coming over for dinner. My blood goes cold so fast, it's like getting shoved into ice water. Excuse me? Rule number 1, Nate. No partners in the house. He turns fully toward me, and he's calm, not passive, not apologetic, calm with steel in it. You broke that rule in March with Dylan. I snap back immediately. That was different. It was an emergency. He needed to use the bathroom. Nate doesn't even blink. It wasn't an emergency. He stayed for 2 hours and drank my beer. I didn't say anything. I open my mouth, close it. He keeps going. This isn't a hookup. I want you to meet her. I don't want to meet your girlfriend. Nate, she matters to me, he says. Simple no drama, which somehow makes it worse. And the kids are at your mom's. It's just adults. Please. He looks so sincere when he says it, and that's when it hits me. I have zero leverage. I fought for this arrangement. I sold it. I pushed it. I called it enlightened. Now I get to live inside it. Fine, I snap, but don't expect me to be nice. I go upstairs and immediately decide I'm going to war. If I have to sit through this dinner, I am not losing on my own turf. I pull out the revenge dress, tight red silk, too tight to sit comfortably for long, push-up bra. Heels sharp enough to qualify as weapons full. Makeup contour, liner, red lipstick, hair, done, perfume, heavy. I'm going to make this little grad student feel 12 years old. That's the plan. I'm expecting young and clueless, pretty but messy all aesthetics. No substance, some cool girl who says like every third word. Doorbell rings. I walk downstairs. Slow controlled like I'm entering a courtroom. Nate opens the door and my confidence disintegrates on impact. Rachel is stunning. Not flashy, not cheap, hot, not Instagram, hot, just beautiful, maybe 27, 28, olive skin, dark curls, bright eyes that look alert and warm. At the same time, simple dress, elegant. Nothing screaming for attention, and she carries herself like she belongs. Wherever she stands, she's holding a paper bag, takes out a vintage record and hands it to Nate. I found that Coltrane pressing you mentioned, she says, the one from the shop on 8th. Nate looks at her like she personally invented music, like she hung the moon and gift-wrapped it. Then he turns to me. Honey, this is Rachel. Rachel steps forward before I can arm her up again, smiles at me. Real smile, not smug, not fake. Polite, warm, hi, it's so nice to finally meet you. Nate talks about your writing all the time. My writing. I blink at her. I wrote a handful of poems in college for the campus lit magazine that was like another lifetime. Nate remembered that and told her I'd just stand there for a second, like an idiot in 6-inch heels. Hi, I managed dinner, should have been a disaster. I was ready for a disaster, wanted a disaster. Instead, it goes almost offensively. Well, they have chemistry, not subtle chemistry. Not, maybe chemistry electric, obvious. In the air chemistry. They finish each other's sentences, not in a rehearsed way, in a, we've actually been listening to each other, way they get into this animated discussion about city planning and public transit and zoning. Nate is lit up. Rachel is sharper than a knife. Quick, funny. Informed, she challenges him. He loves it. They disagree and smile while doing it. It's disgusting. She doesn't freeze me out either. Which would have been easier to hate. She keeps pulling me in. Asks me about work. Asks real questions, not fake cocktail party questions. I mention HR and dealing with the developers and their weird office drama. She nods like she gets it. That sounds emotionally exhausting. You must have so much patience, she says it sincerely. No condescension, no, wow, must be hard, fake voice. She's charming, kind, smart, beautiful. Basically every version of effortless woman I've always wanted to be. And she's looking at my exasperatingly reliable husband, like he's the most fascinating man she's ever met. I sit there watching them, and then Nate reaches over and touches her hand on the table. Just for a second, gentle, protective. Easy. He hasn't touched me like that in years, and the thought hits me so hard, I almost go cold. He was never actually boring. We were bored together. That's not the same thing. He's awake now, alive, engaged. And I'm the one drifting through my own life, half asleep. Then we hear footsteps upstairs. My whole body seizes footsteps. Small ones. Kids. They were not supposed to be here. My mom was keeping them overnight. Rule number 2, screams in my head, kids never meet partners. My son Mason comes barreling in, holding a broken Lego ship. Dad, it broke. I shoot up from my chair. Mason, go back upstairs. We have company. Rachel turns in her seat and squints at the pieces. Wait, is that the Millennium Falcon? Mason freezes, looks at her. Yeah, she points at the side. Kessel Run version. Right? With the modified dish? His eyes get huge like cartoon, huge. Yeah! Rachel smiles and slides right out of her chair onto the floor in that nice dress. Bring it here. I bet we can fix the hyperdrive. I'm decent with structural integrity. Nate laughs, Mason grins. I just stand there uselessly clutching my wine glass. She sits on the floor with him and starts helping him snap the pieces back in, talking to him like he's an actual person. Not baby voice, not fake. Oh, wow, buddy. Real conversation, asking what happened, asking what version it is. Letting him explain, my daughter Emma comes down. Next to hair messy, from sleepover braids half falling out. Stops at the doorway watching Rachel on the floor, with Mason. Emma does this shy little thing with her shoulders. I like your hair, she says quietly. Rachel looks up at her and smiles. Thanks. I like yours too. Want me to show you a Dutch braid sometime? Keeps it out of your face for sports. Emma lights up. For soccer? Yep. Perfect for soccer. 10 minutes later, my kids are gathered around Rachel, like she's some Disney nanny sent to ruin my life. Mason is showing her his other Lego sets on his tablet. Emma is sitting behind her, trying to copy the braid pattern. Nate is standing there in the kitchen doorway, with this expression on his face. Eyes shiny, like he's trying not to cry. And I'm at the head of the table by myself, drinking wine, feeling like a ghost in my own house. My kids don't look at me like that. Not with wonder, not with delight. I'm the homework parent, the chore parent, the "did you brush your teeth" parent. Rachel is Lego and braids magic lady. After she leaves, I wait about 30 seconds before I explode. I'm half drunk, full emotional meltdown, crying before the words even come out. Nate is at the sink, rinsing plates. Like this is a normal Tuesday. You love her. Not a question. He stops washing water still running. Yes. One word steady, that somehow hurts worse than a speech. More than me? He hesitates just a beat, tiny pause, but it feels like someone sliding a knife between my ribs. Differently, he says, she appreciates me. She doesn't think I'm boring. I lose it. I appreciate you. I'm yelling now, ugly crying mascara, probably everywhere. Nate turns off the water and faces me. Composed too. Composed, no, you rely on me. That's not the same thing. You like that I pay the bills. You like that I handle the car and the house and all the stuff that breaks. But you don't actually like me. I crumple, literally slide down onto the kitchen floor. Red dress twisted around my legs, heels digging into the tile. I want to close the marriage. I want this to stop. Now? He looks down at me. Not cruel, just done. I can't do that. I stare at him. What do you mean you can't? I'm your wife. I have veto power. The veto was for safety, he says. Rachel is safe. Rachel is good for me. But I'm unhappy, I scream. I made a mistake. I want us back. He shakes his head. Slowly, eyes wet now, too. You wanted freedom. You told me I was boring. You told me I was suffocating you. I found someone who doesn't see me that way. I'm not going to break her heart because you changed your mind. So what? You're leaving me? He takes a long breath. Looks like the words physically hurt to say. I think we've run our course. Tears in his eyes. Now actual tears. I think you should go find the spark you wanted. And I'm going to stay here, I scream. I sob. I grab the vase off the entry table and throw it at the wall. It shatters everywhere. Water flowers, ceramic all over the floor. Nate doesn't flinch, just stands there like stone, the reliable, safe, predictable man. Finally makes one choice that isn't safe, and it detonates my life. The divorce takes about a year. Legally clean, emotionally filthy. Lots of crying, lots of paperwork, lots of let's keep this civil while everyone is furious. Nate keeps the house, he can afford it. I can't carry that mortgage on an HR salary by myself. I move into a luxury condo. Downtown, which is realtor language for expensive and small, nice lobby, thin walls, great view, zero soul. We split custody 50-50 on paper. It looks fair. In reality, it feels like losing half my life every week, and the kids start talking about Rachel constantly. Rachel took us to the science museum. Rachel showed me how to make bread. Rachel helped me with long division. Rachel says my essay intro is strong, but I need more details. Rachel, Rachel, Rachel. I try to compete, buy them iPads, take them to a theme park, movies, arcade, branded sneakers they don't need. They have fun, they laugh. And then on Sunday night, they ask, when do we go back to Dad's? One Friday, I drive over to pick them up, pull into the driveway of my old house. Our old house, their house. The flower beds are blooming roses out front. Rachel planted roses. Of course she did. I walk up the path and hear noise from inside. Loud laughter, happy chaos. The kind of sound a house makes when people actually enjoy being in it. I ring the bell. Nate opens the door, and he looks 10 years younger. Not exaggerating, t-shirt, showing his arms, beard, trimmed eyes, bright smiling, like smiling is easy now. Hey, he says, come in. They're finishing a game. I step into the living room and stop. The room is different, new furniture, brighter colors, plants everywhere. Throw pillows that aren't beige, actual personality in the place. Rachel is on the floor with my kids playing a board game. Emma is braiding Rachel's hair, while they play Mason is leaning against Rachel's shoulder, reading cards out loud. They look complete, that's the word that hits me. Complete, they look like a family photo. Somebody forgot to stage. Emma looks up and sees me. Hi, Mom! Doesn't run over, doesn't jump up, just normal. Can we finish this round? Rachel is winning. Rachel looks up at me, and she's not smug, not triumphant, Not fake sympathetic either, just warm, "Hey, sorry, we got way too competitive. Do you want coffee? I just made a fresh pot." She offers me coffee in my old kitchen, with my old mug sitting in her hand. And the worst part, the truly worst part, her coffee is better than mine. Ever was. I stand there clutching my designer purse like an idiot, watching my ex-husband look at her with pure adoration, watching my children look at her with trust and joy. And I finally see myself. Clearly I was the villain in my own version of this. I kept telling myself, they were holding me back, but they were holding me up. And when I cut myself loose, I didn't soar. I take the kids back to my condo. The place is quiet the second we walk in. Too quiet. They eat takeout pizza at the counter, then disappear to their rooms. I hear them texting, little notification, sounds, good night. Messages to Dad and to Rachel. I sit on the balcony with a glass of wine, alone, city lights everywhere, sirens in the distance, phone buzzes in my hand. Tinder notification, open it. "Hey baby girl, you up?" From a 43-year-old consultant with a blurry profile picture taken in a car. I stare out at the skyline. I have my freedom. I have my autonomy. I have all these open options, and I would trade every single one of them to be back in that boring house, listening to Nate talk about load-bearing walls. But that door is closed, and I'm the one who locked it from the outside.